So one thing about this national park is you don't actually pay an entrance fee to get into it. So probably one of the reasons why it's the most visited. Not only that, but it's beautiful as heck. But what you would have to do though is get yourself a day pass that you can get at the visitor center if you plan on doing any hiking and or stopping anywhere for more than 15 minutes. You pay $5 for a day pass, and then I think it was $15 for a week. We've jumped out a bunch of times to take some photos, only taking a couple minutes to jump back in the car. We did get a pass just because we thought maybe we might go for a hike, but we're just kind of waiting and seeing how that goes as we go along. So don't need to pull over there, but that's beautiful little water right there. It's awesome.
So we just left the Sugarland Falls, the visitor center, and came to our first pull off, and we weren't sure if we should pull off. I saw two cars here, and I looked to the right, and I went, "Oh my word!"
No, I
said, "Holy frickin' frick!" But wow, that's just like absolutely mind blowing looking out there.
Well, so we notice as we go through the park, they got a few different spots they call quiet walkways. It says a short walk on this easy trail offers close-up views, subtle aromas, and the serene quiet of a protected woodland. You will be walking in one of the last great wildland areas in the east, but you won't need a backpack or hiking boots. Take your time, have a seat on a rock or a log bench. The trail has no particular destination, so walk as far as you like and then return. So we've seen there's a few of these. As you can see, there's only parking for like 3 or 4 vehicles. So I think the idea is like you just get off the road, you just go for a short walk, and like Kim just got out of the car, and the first thing she said was like, listen to the wind. And it is really cool. It's a stormy day today, which makes it awesome because all the leaves are falling off, and the rain is making all the colors pop. But like I said, no destination, so I guess you could walk as far as you want, as long as you want. But you basically get the trail to yourself, I guess is the point, right? So it says it's a quiet walk, but yeah, here I am talking, so now I'm gonna quit talking.
The road you travel today to reach the Sinks follows an abandoned railroad bed. In the early 1900s, large mechanized logging companies used trains to move timber from the forest to sawmills.
Still making our way through the park, at least the section we're trying to do today. While it's weather's kind of poor, the lady, very kind ranger at the visitor center, said as you're heading the way we're going, there's a little town of Townsend, which is just outside the park, so you can jump out, jump back in. They got gas stations, restaurants, little markets, stuff like that if you need to get some food like we're going to stop and do. All right, so we're in Cage Cove. This is the section we've been trying to get to here for the last couple hours. But as you're driving, you come across these little buddies. We're just continuing on this loop. There was a sign here for a primitive Baptist church about a quarter mile down this road. So you turn off the main road and hit up kind of a gravel dirt type road to come back here to see the church.
So the Primitive Baptist Church was first organized in 1827 and was the first church established in the Cove. It initially didn't have a permanent structure for meetings, and so church meetings were held in the homes of members until the fall of 1832, when a log building was constructed for meetings and services.
So we jumped off the loop. This is Rich Mountain Road. Talked to a photographer who's been shooting here for 50 years. I stopped off at a little waterfall and he was chatting with me. And he said that if this is open, to take it. So, same thing to you. If you get to Rich Mountain Road and it's open, come on through here, because he said this is where you're going to see a lot of the color from all the leaves. And he wasn't lying, because it's pretty awesome back here. And you can do it in a standard vehicle. We're in a rental car and it's totally fine. It's just a dirt road. So here's the map. And so you can see we started this thing, went all the way here, started the orientation shelter, came all the way through. We couldn't walk to John Oliver's place because it was too rainy. We might try to do that, but it's still raining. Methodist Church, we hit that up. The Baptist Church, we hit that up. And then we ended up cutting off here at the Ridge Mountain Road and took this thing all the way around. That was really cool, but again, I would not recommend that unless you know that you don't want to continue to do the rest of this loop. And there's a lot to be seen here, as you can see. So I'm kind of glad we're coming back to this. Another Baptist church. Here's some waterfalls. It's a 5-mile hike. The ranger said that was a great hike. Showed us some pictures, looked awesome, but yeah, we're not taking a 5-mile hike today, unfortunately. Another visitor center over here, and then you can take this out to Highway 129, or you can continue on like we're gonna do. Cut this thing all the way around. It's gonna take a little while, it looks like. Off to John Oliver's cabin. Luckily, we made that loop, and now we're back, and now the weather's changed a couple hours later. So yeah, if you come here and the weather's not great, travel to the other part of the park and see if you can get back to it later. I'll show you if it's worth it or not. Wow, what a cool cabin.
Bob visited Great Smoky Mountains National Park and especially enjoyed the historic buildings. He liked them so much, he wrote his name on a wall. He did not seem to care that these historic structures are protected by law as part of our nation's heritage, just like the Statue of Liberty or a president's home. By writing his name, Bob committed a crime. A visitor reported his vandalism to a park ranger, who gave Bob a ticket. He paid a $100 fine. If his case had gone to court, he could have spent 6 months in jail and been fined up to $5,000. If you wish to leave your mark on this park, please do it in a positive way by helping to protect and preserve the natural and historic resources.
Yeah, don't be an idiot.
Don't be Bob.
Don't be Bob. Okay, just don't be an idiot. That's all we have to say about it.
All right, among the first Euro-Americans to settle in Cades Cove, John and Lucretia Oliver arrived here in 1818. Probably by the early 1820s, they had completed the 1.5-story cabin that you see here. Though its exact construction date is not known, it is one of the oldest structures in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Members of the Oliver family lived here for more than a century. When you explore the house, notice details. How are the logs joined at the corners? How tightly do the logs fit? What are the chimney stones like? A story lies behind each detail.
All right, so a couple rangers out here. Looks like they spotted a bear, which we've been to Yellowstone before, so we've seen bear, grizzlies, and what have you. So it's cool. They don't have any grizzlies here. It's all black bear, but it'll still be kind of cool to see. But it's getting dusk, and so it sounds like it's kind of moved its way on. But we thought we'd hop out just in case, just to see if we could see anything. All right, so unfortunately no luck, but just know that there are bear out here, so be bear aware. Yeah, if you're like me, that's a sign you never want to see. Snakes active around buildings. So we're at another stop here. Big parking lot in this place. So it's old cable mill. He said, Kim, it's the only
building on its original site within the national park.
Well, so what, all those churches and stuff got moved?
They must have been. Are you seeing some of them that have been lifted? Gotcha. So maybe they were in such disrepair that they had to be moved from their original foundations.
Gotcha. Oh, hey, Kim, Bob was here too.
Nice.
Hey, don't be Bob. Remember what we said earlier?
Don't be Bob.
Don't be Bob.
The cable mill has become a symbol for the Cades Cove area. So John P. Cable built his water-powered grist mill and sawmill around 1870. It was one of several in Cades Cove that served about 670 residents.
Oh, whoa. Whoa, we pulled over here just to see.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, so we pulled over here because there was a deer out in the field, which there is to the left, and then literally rolled down the window and the deer sitting right here. The point I was going to make is, like, we haven't seen a ton of wildlife today. We've seen some deer, and then there was that one spotting of that black bear. The ranger said they've seen a couple black bears today, but how crazy. I mean, I guess you just have to keep your eyes peeled at all times because they're literally just sitting right here. All right, day 2 parking pass. We didn't really use the one yesterday because all the stops were really quick, but today we might actually stop for more than 15 minutes. So we're going to support the park and pay another $5. Small price to pay for what you get to experience here. So from the visitor center, we got about a 20-mile drive up to Klingman's Dome. It's one of the things that you want to see when you're here. Unfortunately, with the weather like it is right now, you can see we're already fogged in and we're not even halfway up the mountain. So we're almost 100% sure when we get up there, you won't be able to see a thing. But unfortunately, that's what everybody's doing because the weather's so bad, they just want to drive. Yep, rain gear's coming back on because we're climbing and it is nasty. I mean, you can barely even see There's an overlook that we're at, and we overlook into clouds. We've climbed so high now that there's literally snow on the trees and parts on the ground. So, yeah, it's pretty nuts up here.
The top of the Smokies, at 6,643 feet, Klingman's Dome is the highest mountain in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and one of the highest peaks in the eastern United States. An observation tower at the summit takes you above the treetops for a panoramic view.
Not today.
Not today. Climate conditions, like wind and snow, may interfere with long-range viewing. Clouds sometimes shroud the tower and rain is frequent. Be prepared for cooler temperatures and wind.
What?
The paved trail to the observation tower is steep. Your body may not be used to the thin air up here, hence why I'm like huffing and puffing. If you experience shortness of breath, slow down or stop to rest.
All right, just walking up the trail, and we just poked in. They got these little outlets, but look at this. This is awesome in here. Oh, you can hear the wind coming through. That is so cool. All right, a little bit of a treacherous little climb here. A bunch of snow is compacted and starting to get slippery. Luckily, they got handrails. Whew, I have to imagine not too many people see it like this because this closes in the winter. Man, we are literally on top of treetops, babe.
Yeah.
Look at that. Highest point.
It's kind of the Rocky Mountains.
It's kind of freaky. I mean, we are up here. Oh,
it's all frozen.
Crystals, look at that. Yeah. Wow. Well, didn't expect this on our Rocky Mountain Fall National Park trip. I can tell you that. But that's why you subscribe to Adventure J&K. We'll take you along so you don't have to do it. Let's go photo.
Yeah, look at this with this all wrapped around.
Yeah, that's awesome. How you guys liking these views here? Beautiful. Actually, it is pretty beautiful. I'm actually kind of glad it's snowed.
Well, yeah, because we're so high anyway. There's no more fall
You don't
colors.
see anything.
It's
Squirrels
all
down
pine trees up here.
there. Yeah, this is actually really cool. So unfortunately, being way up where we are, there's no food around here. So we packed ourselves a little Diet Coke. Kim's got half a cookie.
Cookie time.
I got a moon pie. So yeah, we're going really healthy. So bring some snacks. Maybe we should have thought about bringing some sandwiches or something now, but whatever. We'll just skip lunch. All right, making our last couple stops here in the park. You can see, you can just pull off. There's just a pull off. There's a car. And you just got this forest of color. It's just insane. You like standing here and it makes you feel yellow.
Yeah.
Like you can see like you turn yellow. Well, our time here at the national park has come and gone. 2 full days of sightseeing. What did you think of the Smoky Mountains National Park?
I thought it was absolutely beautiful. If you want to come this time of year. I mean, the colors are like nothing you've ever seen before. We have trees in Oregon. We get excited for fall to see the colors, but it's kind of laughable now for what you have out here versus at home. Just night and day.
Yeah, I would agree. It was fall. We were talking about that earlier. Like, I'm sure there's so much entertainment stuff to do around these Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge that this park has to be packed all year long, and it's the most visited park in the nation. So spring and summer probably just gets overrun. But we were talking about it earlier. It would be great, but without the color of the trees, I'm not exactly sure. Again, we're tourists, we're visitors, we have no idea. So someone correct us, but I'm not sure why you would want to visit the national park so much in those times of years. Maybe, I don't know, swimming, hiking might be better. I don't know. Maybe you can jump in the water or do something, but we're just kind of thinking through it. But fall just seems like the best time to come. Unfortunately, that also comes with chance of poor weather. So a lot of people were up there today, a lot of old folks on the tour bus, and they didn't get to see a thing. So yeah, I guess you're chancing it there too. So do your best to study up ahead of time and see if you can come during the fall, but during a week where maybe they're not going to forecast much rain, because had we not seen that snow up at the top, which was awesome, and that was really fun, had we just come down and just been nothing but fog and rain, that would have been pretty miserable. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed our trip to the national park. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to try to answer them for you. Take care.